Let's talk about the state of housing in Vancouver, Washington. Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas, Washington channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm glad you're here today because we are talking about some important issues with the state of housing in Clark County, Washington. What I mostly want to talk about today is I want to talk about listings, I want to talk about building, and I want to talk about affordable housing and homelessness and kind of some surrounding issues going on here in Clark County, Washington. Really what drove me to make this video is the Columbian has had some good articles lately on all things housing, and I thought that it would be cool to wrap them up here in a video for you guys. By the way, if you need help buying or selling a home in Clark County, Washington, myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group, we'd love to serve you. You can text us, email us, or DM us. We're going to have our contact information down below. And don't forget to sign up for Weekend Happenings with Hannah. We handwrite this email for you guys every single week, and we send out the best couple local events happening every weekend. All right, let's talk about what y'all came here to hear about, which was the state of housing in Clark County, Washington. The first thing I want to talk about is listings. For all of our real estate clients out there, or anyone who's bought or sold a home, even if you're not our client, you know that there haven't been a lot of options here in Clark County or on the West Coast, that listings have been kind of dry the last couple years. We have been at a low listing level really since, I don't know, 2019, definitely since 2020. We've never fully returned to a proper amount of options on the market. We had the lowest number of listings in Clark County in a decade in 2023 and 2024. So least amount of options in the last 10 years and prices are high. Like, that's a really not good combination. Why did we have so few listing options? I think it's really driven by low interest rates that we had during 2020, 2021, 2022, and affordability. You have to think, if you or someone you know has a 3%, 4%, even a 5% interest rate, that's a lot better than you're gonna get today. And so if you need to move, you could be looking at a payment that's double, like twice as expensive, for a less expensive house, for a smaller house, for a not as nice house. That's what a lot of people are running into. So they're saying, why in the world would I ever pay twice as much for half as much house? That doesn't make any sense. And so they're looking at their super low payments, their low interest rates that are never gonna come again. We're not gonna see 3 or 4% ever again, maybe not even 5. And they're saying, yeah, I'm never gonna sell. I guess I'll stay here for an extra 10 years. It just doesn't make sense. And we're gonna be dealing with these low inventory issues because of the prolonged low interest rates. We're gonna be dealing with them for 10 years, probably, at least, if not more. It really is a vicious cycle that feeds into itself. We have low inventory, we have high prices, and because we have low inventory, there's more competition, there's a lot of demand here, therefore prices get higher, therefore affordability gets worse. It's tough, it's really tough. Let's talk about the state of building right now in Clark County. We do a lot of new construction in our business. We help a lot of clients, about 20 clients a year, everything from entry-level national builder tract homes all the way up to fully custom multi-million-dollar homes. We do see it all. The Columbian says that permits are down in 2024 compared to 2021. That's kind of an obvious comparison. 2021 was a very booming time for homes and new construction. In this article, the Columbian only pulled permits for the city of Vancouver. I would love to see the number for the county, because a lot of new construction is happening outside of the city of Vancouver now because Vancouver's so built out. From 2021 to 2024, a lot of that developable, buildable land has been taken up. Therefore, folks, builders, developers, they have to move further out. So a lot of that development is happening in places like Ridgefield, north of Vancouver, outside city limits, Camas, and even out in Washougal, Le Centre. We're having a lot of permits in Le Centre go through, but overall we are still down for new single family homes. I will say that new construction makes up a very large amount of our inventory here. It fluctuates between, I'd say, 20 to 25% of our home options, and we're only going to see that grow in the coming years as our population continues to increase. We need more homes. We're not building enough. The question is, why are permits down? Why are we building less right now? And it's a variety of factors. Money is expensive, and so investors don't want to build as many apartments right now. That's part of it. The market is, it's a little shaky. It's a little slower than we've been used to the last couple years. And so builders don't want to take on quite as much risk. If they're building single family homes, if they're building spec homes up for sale and they have to carry them for longer, their carrying costs are a large part of their expenses. And they're just very cautious about that. This is an issue I continue to touch on the channel, but with each passing year, it just becomes more and more and more expensive for these developers and builders. And it's not like I'm trying to cry them a river. Obviously they make good profits, but they do take on a lot of risk, and they just pay so much. Permits, hookup fees, impact fees, regulations at the state level, the code, every year, just tens of thousands of dollars extra in fees. The Columbian published an interesting article recently about impact fees going up in, I believe it was Clark County, might have been City of Vancouver, but let me read you part of this article, and just to give you an example. Quote, "In many cases, the development fees have doubled or even tripled. For example, the cost for a boundary line adjustment is going from $355 to $651, with additional adjustments set at $217, up from $124. The fee for a conditional use permit was previously $5,678. Now the rate is $9,902. Those requesting a hearing for a conditional use permit can expect to pay an additional $8,240 rather than the previous $1,490. In the article somewhere, I believe it said that there were certain fees that had gone up like 5x. That's a lot. And what people fail to realize sometimes is that these impact fees, these development fees, they're always passed on to the end consumer, whether it be through the sale price of the home, if it's for sale, or through the rents. Yes, maybe the developers and the builders will shave their margins a little bit just because of market conditions, right? They can't get the rents they want, they can't get the sale price they want, but they can't just not make profit, and they're not gonna lower their profit down to an unreasonable amount. So at the end of the day, these are always passed on to the consumer, and it's just gonna continue to make things more expensive. I do have hope that we will be seeing some good new construction communities opening up this next year or so. I know there's a lot in the works right now. Overall, I'm very optimistic on the building market in Clark County. We have a lot of really good builders here, and please inquire with us if you are thinking about building a home or purchasing new construction. We know all the communities, we know all the builders, we know all the reps. We really want to help you. So text, email, or DM us. Our information's down below. Lastly, let's talk about affordable housing and homelessness. Obviously, this is a very sensitive issue, and we want to be creating housing for people all along the economic spectrum, not just wealthy people, right? We want to help everyone with wherever they're at their stage in life. Entry-level housing, housing for homeless folks, affordable housing, permanently affordable housing is just getting more and more challenging with each passing year. A lot due to the regulations, a lot due just to the cost to build. It is basically impossible without government incentives for developers and builders to make truly affordable housing, right? If it's set at, a certain threshold, 25% or less of the median income for Vancouver, Washington, they just can't do it. It costs more to make it than where they would need to set that price at. Thankfully, we do have a lot of good projects breaking ground. I will have this Columbian article linked down below. I believe it shares 10 projects that have broke ground or opened up to the community recently, and it's pretty cool. I wanted to touch on my few favorite ones from the article. This is pretty cool. There's gonna be a senior living apartment in Philida off of 36th. Close to Farrar's Bistro and Erickson Farms, and just right in that area in Philida. I saw them break ground on that recently and wasn't sure what it was, but that is going to be an affordable living facility for seniors, an apartment. It's gonna cost around $30 million to construct, and it will be set to affordable rates for 55 and older. I'm sure they will have a very long wait list for that because prices will be good and it's in an absolutely prime area of town. If I'm 55 and older, I would love to live right there. We also have a handful of Vancouver Housing Authority projects going on. They have renovated some apartments, they have broken ground on new apartments, and I know they're prospectively trying to buy other apartments to bring into their portfolio and keep affordable. Lastly, there was a really cool project in here of tiny homes that was built in the middle of Vancouver, and I actually really liked this. The idea for it was to be a bridge for folks who are homeless and moving into an apartment. To go from homeless, no money, don't have room in the budget every month, to moving into an apartment, like that's a really big jump. And so they said, we need something in the middle. Let's do these tiny homes, and rents are scaled according to the income. I believe they said rents were like $300 to $800 a month, which is very affordable for this area. And there was a good sense of community. All of the units were facing each other, so you're not isolated from one another. And I just thought that was a really cool concept. So I'd love to see more projects like this. I think that with each passing year, the city and the county are more open to tiny home projects, ADUs, alternative housing sources. Well, that's everything I wanted to share with you today about the state of housing in Clark County, Washington, Vancouver, Camas area. I hope it was helpful to you. Definitely go check out the Columbian articles, and honestly, subscribe to the Columbian. They do a lot of good research and they need all the support they can get right now with people not reading the paper. Thanks so much for watching. If you need help professionally selling or buying a home in Clark County, Vancouver, Camas, Washington, myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group, we'd love to serve you. Text, email, or DM us, and we can't wait to see you again soon. Bye.